Another common feature, which I perceive is a result of people trying to protect and secure themselves also, is we have now estates. Well, that's been a long feature, estates having gates, but what's more prominent these days is even streets, not necessarily estates, but even streets. Every street these days has a gate. So you get to one street, there's a gate. A street off that street has a gate. A street off that street has a gate as well. And the question is, whilst the intention may be to safeguard and ensure the security of people who live in those areas or in those communities, do these gates pose any dangers or any threats to the persons within those places where all of these gates are being erected? There's another related matters we're discussing in this hour. My guest who's joined me in the studio for the conversation is the Director of Operations, Rivers State Neighbourhood Safety Corps, Mathew Iheanyi. Hello, sir. Good evening to you. Welcome to Hard Facts. Now, I know I gave some kind of a preview or some kind of a background to this, but was I correct? Is that the reason these gates are springing up? Because I also perceive that people like to describe where they live as an estate. Oh, I live in that estate, even though it may not be an actual estate. People try to create and carve out pseudo estates. Yes. And one way to give an impression of an estate is if there is a gate. Yes. Because how can you claim to live in an estate that does not have a gate? That means your estate is a low level estate. Yeah. But in your experience, and speaking from a security perspective, what would you ascribe as the main reason all of these gates are springing up everywhere?
Well, you can't really actually blend them because, one, as you can see in terms of security, a lot of things is happening now for the safety of life and every other thing. That's why you see most of all these gates are becoming so common everywhere. But on the other side of it, we are not actually getting it right because the way...
Are you saying now the gate should not be there?
No, the gate is not... Okay, just like what you were mentioning about street. There's what they call close, an estate, which you know that this particular road is linking nowhere. It's just a close by. If the people within the axis can come together for the safety of themselves, to know who is who, that is living around them and every other thing, to secure themselves, having a private security to secure themselves, it's quite clear. There's nothing wrong about it because, one, it's something that they have all agreed and it's a close. But not when in a street, when you know that this road is linking to this other street, from this street to this other, and at the end of you see gate everywhere. It's not right. We're not getting it right.
Are you saying that we shouldn't have gates, we shouldn't protect ourselves, we shouldn't make our own effort?
No. If you want to have gates, there's nothing wrong in having gates. And I earlier said, the only way you can get this thing right is a street where people, that this road linked to this road linked to this other axis. If you want to have a gate, no one stops you. But sometimes there are some places you are sex, and you find out that nobody is there to attend to you. They lock up the place and you see them, nobody. Sometimes even when you have some distress code that you want to access that same gate to see how you can reach the victim or the person that is having problem, there is no way you can do it. Because, one, nobody is there to attend to you. You see them put the gate, use padlock with chair and then lock up the place. Nobody is there. And it's bad. If you want to have such a thing, it's a registered company or a private registered company, you have to guide them on how to follow. And they're not supposed to be up to 2. Sometimes in those streets, it's only people that's guiding the whole estate. How does it work?
Well, like you said, if it's an estate, what that means is that it's just usually maybe one entry in or one entry out, or maybe 2 entries. But what you're describing right now is not an estate or a close. You're describing just regular streets.
Regular street, but they turn it to be estate. Because, one, by the time they put the gate, they market the other gate, you see they call it estate. Is what we are saying now. And when you this is several times I've had issue with them. When I stop, I say, look, what people are doing is not right. I mean, of that is on this beat. They say it's only me. I say, where's on the other beat? They say it's only one person that is. How can the 2 of you at this big street that people call an estate take the security in this or secure everybody that is here? Okay, as you are in this beat now, do you know what is happening inside? He said no. I said, how? And even sometimes they are going out, okay, let's argue they want to go on patrol and they will lock up the gate as no one can have access. Now, what happened? There's no phone number to communicate. There's nobody you can reach to call to ask what is actually going on.
So what you're saying is when you get to this gate sometimes there's nobody manning the
Nobody,
gates.
man, nobody.
And the gates are locked.
Nobody. If you go around Port Harcourt today, you see there are some street that is permanently locked. People take clause in, they will lock it, nobody access it. When you ask them what was the problem, they say because they don't want people to be passing here. But you know that this same road you are locking, you're taking laws into your hand by locking it, is another access to that someone can steal. Okay, what if something happened on this other major road and people are all living within this? How can they access?
But doesn't government have a responsibility to check? Because if you have seen this gate, I've seen several sort gates in my neighborhood. Other people, government should have taken note of these gates and do ensure the proper things are done.
There is nothing. There is no check. Nobody is even doing it. Not even the police. Nobody is doing it. And this whole thing is becoming, because by the time you see this street has put their own gate and nobody correct, maybe try to tell them what you are doing is, you see other people, they have to, another street will also come up and put their own gate. And you see gate everywhere. Sometimes you're coming back in the night, you cannot have access to your house. And when these boys are sleeping or they are somewhere else, maybe drinking or maybe in one thing or the other, there is nothing you can do. You can't access because there is nobody you can call. Who will you reach? There is no phone number in those gates you can reach. No number, you can't call anybody. Who are you? Even most of these streets you are talking about, all the security, in the normal sense, the local government are supposed to have data about all these people. And the division within the axis are supposed to also have a register of this, where if there is any district, they know how to reach these people. But most times when you go around, you can't get all this information from them.
So once again, back to a question I asked you earlier on. Should the gates be removed, or if the gates are to be there? So that's the first question. Should the gates be removed, or is there a standard, is there a procedure, a proper procedure to erecting gates, or a proper security system or format to erecting gates? And how should those gates be managed or manned? Well,
there's nothing wrong in putting those gates or putting security within their vicinity. But let the right thing should be done. If you're putting security within your axis where you're living, and you know that this road linked to, so you have to have what they call 24 hours personnel in that, or the security people there, that they must be there 24 hours. If someone is accessing that road, it's your own is just to check. Look at the vehicle. You can ask the person, please, sir, we're doing it because for the safety of people living around there. Politely, because one is not your right. It's their own fundamental human right for them to have that, because it's a federal government road or a state road. They have every right to access it anytime because it's their taxpayer money. What you need to do is just for you to beg them, please, can I see your boat? We are doing it because of this. Which area are you going to? The person can say, I'm going to so street. You open the gate for them, not harassing them. Not to say maybe since you are not living in this particular zone, you cannot have access to make use of the road. Most of it happens. People complain a lot. Okay, just like what's going on now in the construction that is going on in within the NTA houses, the flyover. Do you know there are some streets, there are roads you can access easily without all this traffic jam, but you can't access it. The place is blocked with gate. You can't access it.